Hey, thanks for joining us for this training Blogging 101. Whether you're a seasoned blogger or you're just getting into it, what we are going to do today is go through the blogging process start to finish on Wix.com. Welcome to Strategic Life Digital University, and today's training will cover how to build a blog that is tagged properly so that you are ranked highly on Google and getting the exposure you want for your blog content. We're going to start off by just going straight into the blog editor. When you get into here, you can see we have a number of blogs, but I'm going to go ahead and click on New Post because we are going to make a new post. The first thing in blogging is obviously an engaging title, something that's going to grab attention. So what our title today is going to be is 5 keys to having a successful blog. Now what I do is I go ahead and type out my blog into a Word document or something like that, just in case the editor were to crash, but it usually doesn't. That's just my preference. So to get started, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and take that first paragraph and we're going to drop it into the blog here. So it's basically like writing directly into a Word document. You can leave the font the way you have it. You can change it. I like to change it personally, and I usually switch it to August Bold. We do 15-point font. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that H and I'm going to increase the size there. That's just kind of a preference. And you can start your blog like this, and it's totally acceptable to have your blog start like this. But what I like to do is add a blog image. So to insert a blog image, I'm just going to highlight over image here. I'm going to click on that. And it's going to bring up my ability to either pick an image that I have already in here, or I can upload a new image. So I'm going to go ahead and upload my new image. Once it's uploaded, you'll see it pop up right here. And I'm just going to click that and select apply. Now, before I did that, I put the cursor where I wanted the image to be. So let me go ahead and do that again for you. If you notice, I put that first paragraph in, I came over the H here, and I just dropped it down by hitting enter twice, or return if you're working on a Mac computer. Then I take my cursor, I put it all the way up at that top line, and insert my image. What this does is it allows your audience, when they land on your blog, it engages them with a branded image, so it gets you exposure. As you can see, the title right there is Blogging 101 for Wix.com, Strategic Life Digital University. And at the bottom, we have our website, strategiclifedigital.com. With this image, you have a couple options. You can leave it just as an image, or what you can do is you can actually insert a link, and we are going to do that. We're going to insert a link to the Strategic Life Digital University page so that anybody reading this blog that landed on the blog first can access that training video. Once we have that done, we're going to come down here to the bottom of the screen, and we're going to go ahead and readjust our text to where we like it. And now we're going to go back to that Word document that has our blog post in it. Like I said, you obviously can write it directly in the editor. My preference is to do it in a Word document and then post it onto my website. So then once I do this, I'm going to go ahead and change the font back to where I like it, which is that August Bold. And for me, I like to have, since it's a 5 keys, when I'm reading a blog, if it's not easy to access the content that I want that got me to click on that link, I'm going to bounce if it's not intuitive and easy for me to find that content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make those headings large, and I'm going to change the color to blue so they kind of stand out and jump off the page for someone that might be a little bit more in a hurry and needing to find what they wanted out of that article. Then I'm going to go back to my Word document because we have our first point in there. I'm going to grab point number 2. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to do the same thing. I also like doing a line break between each main point just because, again, it's helping people understand where to put their eyes once they land on it. You're going to be very familiar with a blog when you write it, but someone that was doing a Google search, odds are, is already experiencing levels of tech overwhelm, content overload. And so doing this for them just gives them that ease of being able to navigate, figure out where their content is, breaks it up, puts some of that white space in there, which makes it more readable. Again, that's kind of a stylistic approach. You can do it however you want, but that's what we do. Once we have that second point in there, we're going to go ahead and grab our third point. We're just going to copy and paste down. Basically what we're doing is we're just formatting the blog, making sure that everything looks the way we're going to want it to look for this post. And you go through that. The reason we do each point at a time is because formatting can get thrown off a little bit if you try to do the whole thing at the same time. So the easiest way really to do this is to do it point by point. And obviously you don't have to adjust your font type. That's kind of a personal preference thing. If you want to, you can. If you don't, you can leave it the way it is. I find doing a little bit more of a bold font with the page breaks makes the articles more readable and easier to navigate, helping your audiences digest the content. And really that's the make or break. That's going to determine whether or not your blogs are shared, whether or not you're kind of seen as an expert within your industry. Are your audiences, are they digesting that content? Is it relevant to them, and is it helping them overcome whatever caused them to do that initial Google search? So the whole time, I think it's paramount to always be mindful of that. Always consider the reason or the why that people come to your site and why they initially did that first Google search, because that will make or break the relevancy of your blog. And we will go over different options that you can do, and it kind of is content driven, and we'll talk about that. But right now you see that we have this here. So we have a click here and here, and that's to take them to that training video that we are watching right now. So you definitely want to make sure you link that up. So anytime you want to hyperlink in your blog, very easy, you hover over the whatever you want to hyperlink. So in this case, we are going to do that. Click here, you highlight it, and this little menu comes up, and you go to this link button here. You go ahead and click link. You can link to a web address, so that would be an external link. An email address you can link as an anchor link, so you can do the top of the page, or you can drop an anchor into the blog article. You can link to a page, a document, or a page button. In this case, we're going to do it to a page on the website, and it's going to be Strategic Life Digital University. So we're going to go ahead and link that. Click OK. And we are going to make that blue so it's more apparent, and our hyperlink is there. And then the last thing we are going to do for this blog is some fun facts. So we're just going to copy this content here. Again, we're going to create that line break, and we're going to paste it in. The fun facts we are going to make like the other headings. So we're going to go ahead and do that same font, the August bold. And we're going to make it 25-point font again. Change the color to blue. And then we have our fun facts right here. And that's always a good thing to keep in mind, is how do you close a blog, right? So a lot of times it's easy to think the content was there, it was good, it was relevant, I would read it, but you're not the person that's doing the Google search. And the truth is that when most people do a Google search, they are looking for a reason to bounce out of your site and leave it. So that's why it's important to always make sure that when you do have a blog, leave them with something interesting. Something that the next time they're at a company meeting, or when they're at a family gathering, they can say, hey, did you know that for example, here 90% of companies who blog daily have acquired at least one customer, probably more than that, but at least one customer through blogging itself. And what that does is, when it's seen as relevant, when it's seen as an interesting fact, then whoever the stat or the highlight from your blog article is being told to, they would probably ask, how do you know that, and where did you find that? Well, that's a great time for that particular person to highlight your business and to give you a shout out and say, yeah, they actually have a great blog, you should check out their blog. So it's little details like that that will make a big difference when you are blogging. So right now we basically have the core of our blog. We've got our blog image that looks really nice. It's in keeping with everything we want to do. It matches the thumbnail image for this training video, so there is no confusion if someone were to click on the link, whether they were to read the article from this training. And if you haven't, I highly recommend that. Or if you landed on the blog article first and you want to view the training, it's consistently branded across the board, which will eliminate confusion. We have the date that the blog is published, so Google will know how relevant the content is, as well as your readers and who it was written by. You don't have to put that in there, but again, it helps establish credibility not only for your brand, not only for the readers, but for you, because you get to put your name in there, or the writer's name. Once you're done, you have a couple options. Sometimes with some blogs, we will add more images. It just kind of depends on what you're going for. If you want the clean readability, it really depends on your readership and who's going to be absorbing the content. If you're in a highly professional or technical environment, adding images might help. So examples that you can add would be if you wanted to do an infographic. So one thing that I could do for this blog, if I just wanted to have something that would be relevant, that would grab attention, I'd go to Google and I would do blogging stats maybe. That's where I would start. And I'm gonna click on images because I want it to be an image because I want it to grab attention. This one looks interesting. We got blogging impact on visits. Average visits with a blog post, as you can see, goes up exponentially. And so I might pull this. I will. I'll go ahead and save this. So I'm going to do blogging stats. And then for me, I like it to be branded. I like it to be uniform with my brand. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into my editor. And for that, I'm using PicMonkey.com. Again, it is a paid service, but it's a great service that allows you to really customize. And I mean, you still want to give credit to the source, but it does allow you to customize to your brand so that you are seen as that credible source. We are going to go ahead and skip the editing process here. The reason for that is we do have a training on how you can design your own logo, but it's for sake of time. And so if you want to know how to use PicMonkey, or we have a lot of different software recommendations that we have that we use, we don't get paid to promote these different platforms, but it's what we use to create our content. And so if you like the look of our stuff, this is how we accomplish that. And so we would recommend definitely looking into those or finding something that would work for you and your business. Okay, so now we're back. Like I said, we do have a training on how to design your own logo, and we will be releasing one for you to teach you how to do custom branded things like this. But for sake of time for this training, since it is about blogging, we did go ahead and cut that part of it out. Now that we have our stats image customized to our brand, we're going to go ahead and grab that. We're going to upload that just like we did the blog header image. Now that it's there, I want to see kind of where I want to put it in. So I'm going to look at the blog here, and I think where I want it to be is going to be right before the fun facts, just because it'll break it up with something visual there. And it'll be kind of a relief and an accomplishment for having made it through the content. Again, with this, I do have the ability to link it. If I want to link it, I can go ahead and do that. But for this one, I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Most people at this point would believe that they're done and that the blog is ready to go and they can go ahead and hit publish post. Maybe you'd read it through it one more time, proof it to make sure it's good to go. But the truth is, this is the easy part. At multiple points along the way, if you do want to save it to make sure that if something does crash, you don't lose your content, you can go right here and click Save as Draft. That is going to bring you back here where you see all of your blogs and you see that's still in draft mode. So to go back in there to keep working on it, you just click on Edit and it pulls it back up for you. Now that we're back in edit mode, you do want to look over your blog. You want to make sure it's good. You want to make sure that there aren't any typos. It's exactly how you want it to be. Once you're there, you're going to come to this section right here, tags and categories. This section is what will determine if your blog is found or not. The way Wix Editor works is it does keep a bank of every keyword that you have ever done. So you are able to look through those. I'm going to include SEO because it does impact Google search. It's under web design because a blog can be its own form of website. We're going to add Google to it because it is impacted by Google. Vlog, just because there is this training, you always want to tag your company name and the title of your blog. So blogging 101, 5 keys to a successful blog. You also want to tag tags for this one, since the training is for Wix.com. It's going to be Wix.com. We are going to tag competitors, so WordPress, blog, and you can tag any of them that you want. We'll go ahead and toss in Blogger, and we could add more for sake of time for the training. I think you get the picture there. So I will go back in later and add more categories or tags. Then I want to go to categories. This is really for how people can sift through the content on your blog. So you can go under any of the tag or categories and people can search by that or select different categories that they want content that is based on for that. So we'll do digital marketing, marketing agency. It is a top 5 post, so we'll go ahead and add that. And really, this is our first blogging article, and so we will add some new categories. Then you can tie it to related posts if you would like, and these are previous posts that you have, and links are embedded at the bottom of your blog. They encourage on both blogs, if they read one of your related posts, they could click on the post that you're writing, or vice versa, to read more content, to again establish that credibility and make sure that your content is being seen. I am going to tie this one to our main overarching social media post, just because blogging is socially driven through sharing through different social platforms. I'm going to hit done there. I'm going to go to advanced here. And under advanced, what you're given the ability to do is kind of come up with your hyperlink. So we're just going to do blogging 101, and then you can put a meta description in. Meta descriptions are great because that's what comes up on the Google search. And so our meta description for this article is going to be learn the 5 keys to having a relevant blog that increases your Google ranking and drives traffic to your website. Learn how to become your industry expert. Again, when people are searching, that's what'll come up and that's what'll drive those clicks. You want to make sure that it's concise, that you communicate that it's not going to be a big time commitment to go through your blog, and that there will be something that they get out of it after making that click. A title on mobile, we are going to do the same title, but if you do have a long title, it is recommended to do shorter titles for that mobile search. And then again, for the excerpt, I'm going to come here and it's going to be point number 1 that I'm going to put in there for my excerpt. I'm going to go back to advanced. The reason is Google loves Google, and my first point is all about Google. So they are going to like that and hopefully give me a higher ranking. Again, you are able to add images. For some of our articles, we would do cartoon images, so I can click here. Let's say we wanted to do that for this one, and it goes right where it was, and you can see how it breaks up the text there. But if I either hover, if I hover on the image, this sizing comes up right here, and I can click on that and I can go large, extra large, medium, or small. So let's say I want to wrap the text. I checked large. I think it needs to be a little bit smaller, so I'm going to go medium, and I'm going to wrap it on the right, or I can wrap it on the left. Medium to me is a little bit small, so if I didn't like large or medium and I want something in the middle, I just go to these arrows here and I click on it and I can drag my sizing like so. And of course, like with any other image, I can link that image up, and now it's there. And if I want to bring this up, I can do that to where there isn't that break there. But that's how you blog. Then once you're ready to go, you're going to come up here, you're going to click publish post. That helps the post go live. At this point through Wix, one of the great advantages to going with Wix is it gives you these options right here. Your post is published, shared on your favorite social network. You can email it out to your contacts. You can share it on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You are able to see insights here. One of the great things about Wix blogs is it gives you insights. It is fully mobile responsive, which means that it does render on any mobile device, and here's an example there. And it does give you the option to speed up your blog with Google AMP. Google's search algorithm is strictly mobile now. They called that Mobilegeddon. That happened fairly recently, but they started that shift a couple of years ago. And AMP increases load time, and Google is punishing websites that have long load times and that are not mobilely optimized. They are not ranking those sites as highly. And so going with this AMP look, it flattens your layout, as you can see right here, but it does make the site load faster and the article load faster, which will again get you better exposure because you will rank higher on Google. So keeps mobile visitors happy with faster loading times, boosts your SEO rank, and gets you more views. Basically, it just makes it easier to use, easier to navigate. And so really it makes it easy for you. You just want to make sure that you tag it right. And one of the things, if you're not sure how to tag your article or your blog post, you could always search it. What are good tags? What are good keywords for a blogging article? Or what categories should I put this in? And again, if you ever have any questions on things and you'd like us to do a training that goes further in depth with this topic, go ahead and leave a comment on this training video, and we would be happy to plan a training centered around the specific need that you have and the questions that you have. Appreciate you joining us today. Thanks for joining Strategic Life Digital University, and have a great day and happy blogging.